آقای رئیس جمهور آمریکا شما شروع کردید و ما تمومش خواهیم کرد.
Iran has issued a chilling threat to the United States, warning it has sleeper cells already positioned inside the country.
Just in, that Iran directly threatened America?
Tom, tonight NBC News has learned that message from Iran was conveyed to President Trump by an intermediary during last week's G7 summit, warning the president if he launched airstrikes against Iran's nuclear facilities, Iran could respond by unleashing terrorist attacks on the U.S. by activating sleeper cells it has inside this country, according to two U.S. officials, all as we learn new details about those historic strikes. Tonight, the new video, B-2 bombers returning to their Missouri base after those secretive strikes. And now our first look at the targets they hit inside Iran. These before and after images show the massive impact of the U.S. attack on Isfahan, one of 3 Iranian nuclear facilities hit.
Initial battle damage assessments indicate that all 3 sites sustained extremely severe damage and destruction.
A second warning came from the IRGC Aerospace commander, escalating the rhetoric between the two nations.
امریکایی‌ها در منطقه حداقل در اطراف ایران 10 پایگاه دارن. 50,000 نفر نیرو هم دارن. یعنی در یک اتاقک شیشه‌ای نشستن. کسی که تو اتاقک شیشه‌ای هست سمت کسی سنگپرانی نمی‌کنه.
President Trump responded following the U.S. bombings of Iran's nuclear facilities.
This cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight.
Most Israelis appear to support the U.S. strike on Iran's nuclear infrastructure.
The Israeli government is retightening rules across the country. Public gatherings are banned and only essential businesses are allowed to open. But a new banner in Tel Aviv does represent much of the public sentiment here. Many welcome U.S. involvement.
Trump is keeping his promise to keep Israel safe.
Go for it, Trump. Thanks for helping us. Thanks for being next to us.
Now, there are banners on the streets of the Iranian capital as well. The U.S. attack is being called a grave violation of international law, one the government has to stand up to. This man says the U.S. made a futile move and has endangered its interests in the region. Well, the Iranian president joined a rally in the streets of Tehran Sunday. There were chants of death to the USA, but so far there's been no retaliation against U.S. troops in the region. That's been the biggest threat in recent days from the Iranian government and something everyone is watching. Jeff?
Israel continued targeted operations inside Iran with visible signs of the attacks taking toll.
Good morning, Dana. Israel's defense minister says this is an unprecedented show of force with Israeli warplanes in the air, at least 50 of them, unloading at least 100 missiles on Iranian targets. Among those targets, as you mentioned, the Fordo nuclear facility, Israeli warplanes have been hitting the access road, preventing the Iranians from going back there. They hit a general intelligence headquarters, radar sites, missile production facilities, the command center for Revolutionary Guard, and they hit a command center for the Syed Shuhada Corps. These are the people who were responsible for putting down revolutions. They hit something called the destruction of Israel clock that counts backwards to the destruction of Israel, and they hit Iran's very old fleet of aircraft. Meantime, the Director General of the IAEA, speaking to the UN Security Council, says the path to preventing Iran from getting a bomb is still negotiation.
We have a window of opportunity to return to dialogue and diplomacy. If that window closes, violence and destruction could reach unthinkable levels, and the global non-proliferation regime, as we know it, could crumble and fall.
Iran's foreign minister condemned the strikes and warned of potential retaliation.
The Islamic Republic of Iran condemns, in the strongest terms, the United States' brutal military aggression against Iran's peaceful nuclear facilities. It is an outrageous, grave, and unprecedented violation of the fundamental principles of the Charter of the United Nations and international law. The warmongering and lawless administration in Washington is solely and fully responsible for the dangerous consequences and far-reaching implications of its act of aggression. The Islamic Republic of Iran calls on the Security Council to convene an emergency session to unequivocally condemn the criminal act of aggression by the United States against Iran and to hold the administration in Washington accountable for its violations of fundamental principles of United Nations Charter and of norms of international law. In accordance with the UN Charter and its provisions allowing a legitimate response in self-defense, Iran reserves all options to defend its security interests and people.
Do you think the U.S. crossed the line, or was this a necessary move? Let me know in the comments below. See you in the next one.